There are assumptions that are made about people and what they can and can't do. And too often we judge or limit people by what we think they can't do instead of allowing them to show us what they can. Disability does not mean inability. I would say that my childhood was a fairly normal Nigerian immigrant family childhood. Nigerians have high expectations for education. My mother is a pediatric intensivist, and my father was a neonatal intensivist. I had an opportunity to see what medicine was. So when I was a child, I always said I wanted to be a doctor.
As parents, we were totally flattered that he even wanted to go into medicine. Fermi could have gone to college and done almost anything.
I started to come into my own, so to speak, in middle school and junior high. I played sports all through my life, and when I got to high school, I played basketball, soccer, lacrosse, and track. Sports were never the primary part of my life. They were always something that I did in addition to my academics. I think that sport gave me an opportunity to truly find my ability to manage stress and difficulty and loss and success in a way that I think have helped shape me throughout life.
When he graduated from Stanford University, he went to the University of Michigan for medical school. After his graduation from medical school, he was accepted into the orthopedic surgery residency program at Yale. And that's where he was in his third year when the accident occurred.
It was a day off. I remember that it was 4th of July, and I lived in an apartment complex that had a pool on one of the rooftops. And so we were getting people together to enjoy the day that we all had off. So the actual jump or impact itself, I don't remember, right? I don't remember hitting anything, right? But I knew immediately that I had injured my spinal cord. I was awake, I was alert, and I was trying to call out, but my head was underwater. People noticed that I was struggling in the water and were able to pull me out.
I was on call in the pediatric ICU and realized that I'd missed about 3 calls from a certain friend of his. So when I tried to call him back, all he could tell me was, Mrs. Oholami, there's been an accident. Fermi's hurt, we're on the way to the hospital, we'll call you back. So I drove home, and the one thing that he mentioned at that time that tipped me off to the fact that this was a serious accident was that he said he's hurt, but he can move his hands.
I was calm the entire time. I wasn't crying, I wasn't scared, and I don't know if that's because in this weird way I knew that the Lord was in control. So right after the injury, I had 2 surgeries at Yale, and even as an orthopedic surgery resident that took care of spinal cord injuries and thought that I had some semblance of understanding of what disability was like, I had no idea.
As a mother, I felt more sorry for him because of the type of active individual that he was. And I just could not imagine Fermi unable to dance, run, jump, because that was his life. Triple jumper, track and field runner. Even when he wasn't on a sports field, he never stood still.
If there was any time that I had a brief thought of, why do I have to be like this? The times that I had those thoughts were actually with respect to being with my son.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, Al. And it was during these years that he was growing up and was wanting someone to run with him and roll with him and play with him that I couldn't do it the way that I envisioned I would do as a dad, because until I was able to know more about my body, I wasn't able to do as much with my son as I wanted to.
So in the first few weeks, we were all expectant, but he was very optimistic. And the day that his legs moved, that was a day that probably gave him a whole new lease on life.
It's hard to explain a feeling like that Being an academic All-American triple jumper turned orthopedic surgeon, that physical feats were something that you thought were part of what defined you, to then not be able to move anything from your chest down for 2 months, when something moves, it was awesome. It isn't even that I thought that there was a guarantee that I would walk again, but it was that I knew that regardless of what did happen, I would be okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Woo! Not enough runway. Not enough runway. I've been blessed that I'm an assistant professor of family medicine, an assistant professor of physical medicine and rehabilitation, and I'm the director of adaptive sports in MCHAMP, which is Michigan's Center for Human Athletic Medicine and Performance. Most important thing is just get out there and play and have fun. When I wheel into a room, that whether they know my background or not, there's an assumption that we have something in common. My patients that are in wheelchairs or with walkers or crutches or some sort of mobility concern, they think he gets it.
I was excited when I first heard about the fact that family medicine here at University of Michigan had a doctor with a spinal cord injury. He not only knows about some of the challenges posed to people with spinal cord injury, he lives it.
He has such an inspiring story. It definitely opens your eyes to how much you can do within medicine, because he didn't let that stop him from pursuing his dream.
I still play sports. I play wheelchair basketball, I play sled hockey, I go swimming. Sure, it's not the same exact way that I was triple jumping or long jumping or high jumping, but there are lots of things that people can't do, even if they haven't had spinal cord injuries. And I don't think that most people live their lives being upset about the things that they can't do. You take the things that you can do, and you do them.
I'm so proud of what Ferami has accomplished in spite of the challenges that have come his way. I know that the best is yet to come.
I think each person's thriving may look different. Are you doing everything that you can do? And if you're doing everything that you can do, you're absolutely thriving. Don't look at your neighbor. Don't look at what you may have been able to do before. Look at whatever it is that you want to do now and figure out how we can get it done. And you may be able to do more than you can even imagine.